right, good evening and welcome everybody to the T2 Challenge Season 2 Team Draft. Hi, I am Mark Thompson. I'm joined by a number of illustrious stars tonight. I'll start with Sean O'Neill, the High Performance Director of USA Table Tennis. It'll be he and I who are kind of hosting tonight's event. We've also have the CEO of USA Table Tennis, Virginia Sung, with us. We have a number of the players who are going to be participating this year in the T2 Challenge for Season 2. And we also have some of the tournament directors, including Mike Babuin from Triangle Badminton Table Tennis in Morrisville, North Carolina. Mike, thanks for coming. Will Shorts from Westchester. And of course, we've got Rajul Sheth there from ICC. Those are three of the clubs that have already determined their regional participants. We'll give you a little bit of a short description of what we're going to do tonight, but there were 7 clubs that have now determined their regional participants. There are 32 players who have been determined that are going to play in T2 Challenge for Season 2. We're very excited to have these 32. A lot of really good players. 6 players that have a rating over 2,600. I think we've got at least 3 active Olympians who are in the group. We've got a couple of others, including Matilda Ekholm, who have represented Sweden in the Olympics as well, who's in this group. And we have the great Jimmy Butler, who is my understanding will turn 50 when we actually get to playing these events. So he is the veteran star in this event. Essentially what's going to happen tonight, we've got these 32 players, and we're going to play 16 of them on one team. That's going to be Team Alpha, and 16 on another. That's going to be Team Omega. We're going to do it purely randomly. You're going to see a hand in the not too distant future reaching into what I like to call the glass hamster cage and pulling out ping pong balls after we say a player's name. We're going to say a player's name, and then we're going to pick a ball. It's either going to be Team Alpha or Team Omega. We have to do it by region. I noted already that there are 7 regions that are participating in this. The first one we're going to do is from the Houston International Table Tennis Academy. There are 6 players who have qualified for regionals in Houston, and that means we're going to have 3 matches in Houston. Essentially, you'll have 3 players on Team Alpha and 3 players on Team Omega. And we're not going to determine tonight who plays whom. We're going to do that another time. We'll explain more about that as we go on. All we're going to do tonight is the team draft. We're going to identify who's on what team. Sean O'Neill, I'm going to turn it over to you right now and say if I completely confused everybody yet, or at least are we on the right path?
No, we're definitely on the right path, and I'm really excited to start in Houston. I mean, we've got some real veteran players, some real contrasting styles. I think with players like Lee Ki-wei, who's a very strong defensive player, and then also Olympian with Hui Jin Wong there, we should have a great matchup at Houston.
Excellent. Why don't we start with Houston? We're going to go from Houston to ICC. Actually, we're going to go to Westchester second, and then we'll go to ICC third. We'll go to California Table Tennis fourth, and then we will go from there to the Spin and Smash in Columbus, Triangle Badminton Table Tennis in Morrisville, North Carolina, and Lily Yip in Dunellen, New Jersey from there. So let's start with Houston. As noted, 6 players have already qualified for the regionals there. I'm going to do this in alphabetical order. And I'm going to start with Shaheen Aklapasand, who's a 42-year-old out of Austin, Texas. The hand is going to drop into the bucket. 6 ping pong balls. 3 of them are going to have the Team Alpha on them. 3 of them are going to have Team Omega. And for Sean Aklapasand, he'll be our first player picked. If the hand wants to pick that one, we'll start there. And the first player picked out of the 32 is a Team Alpha, and it is for Sean Aklapasand on Team Alpha. Next, we'll go to the great Jimmy Butler. As noted, 49 years of age, out of Houston, Texas, a 25-38 USA TT rating, 2-time Olympian. What team is Jimmy Butler going to play for? It is going to be Team Alpha as well. So the first 2 balls out of the hamster cage, so to speak, are Team Alpha. Then we'll do Jackie Lynn will be our third player. Jackie, who's out of Texas Wesleyan, a 20-year-old from Plano, Texas, is on Team Omega. So Jackie will be our first on Team Omega. And you noted that Lee Ki-wei is in this Houston group as well, Sean. The 40-year-old out of Johns Creek, Texas, and we've got Team Omega there as well. So we've got 2 from Team Alpha, 2 from Team Omega, and we'll go to the Olympian. Huijing Wang will be our 5th selection, and of course, when we get that one, we'll know who our 6th selection is as well. Huijing Wang is on Team Alpha in Houston, and that leaves Deng Zhen, and that will, of course, be on Team Omega. So let me recap. For Houston there, Sean, we've got on Team Alpha, Shaheen Aklapasan, Jimmy Butler, and also Huijing Wang. And then on Team Omega, Lin Jiaqi, Kiwei Li, and Deng Zhen on Team Omega. So what do you see there in the first matchup for Houston, for the 3 matches that we have in Houston?
Well, it's definitely going to be really tough for both teams. I think if we can bring in one player, I think that Jimmy Butler might be available. So I'm going to ask him to unmute and say a few words about his teammates of Huijing Wang and Shaheen. What do you feel your chances are to join and beat the Omega team?
I've played the 2 women on the other side, and so I've beaten them both. One of them twice and another one time. If I play Kiwei Li, he's a favorite. So that's how I match up. As far as Huijing Wang, I think Kiwei Li's a favorite against all of us, but Huijing Wang just beat him a week or 2 ago, so she has a very good style against him, and I definitely think she's a favorite against the other 2 women. And how do you say his name? Shaheen. Tell me the third guy. I know him, I just can't say his name.
And I've got it as Shaheen Aklapasan.
I'll call him Shaheen. Shaheen will be a favorite against the 2 women, and I think he'll be an underdog against Kiwei. So I think we are favorites to win 2 out of 3.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we are thrilled to be down at the club. I know that Manny is ready to go, and we will see who eventually becomes the team captain for Team Omega and Team Alpha, and that person will select the order of play. It'll be independent for each team, but that's where the real excitement will come in, because you'll have to put your team out there not knowing where the other players, and then it's literally just the kind of the flip of the draw to see which players.
All right, that's great. Jimmy, thank you very much for being a part of this, and we look forward to watching you play as you continue what has been a stellar career. Thank you very much. It's good to have you. All right, let's do Westchester. Westchester has 8 players. There are going to be 4 matches there, and we'll try to do this in alphabetical order, and that brings us up on the Westchester number 1 to one of the all-time favorites, Adar Algwedi. There'll be 8 balls in the hamster cage here. And Adar, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's great to see you as well. Of course, the 21-year-old out of Tenafly, New Jersey. Let's pick for Adar Algwedi and see what team he is on. He is on Team Omega. So Team Omega has Adar Algwedi. We'll go next to his brother, Sharon Algwedi. Is Sharon, I'm looking here to see whether Sharon's, I don't see him right at the moment, but, oh, there he is. Yes, he is. Thank you, Sharon, for showing up as well. And are the brothers on the same team? They are not. It is Team Alpha for Sharon Algwedi. All right, next up is for Ernesto Ebuen there in Westchester. So Ernesto, John Ebuen is going to play for Team Omega. So he is a teammate with Adar Algwedi, is John Ebuen. Next up, Matilda Ekholm, the Swedish star. Who is Matilda going to play for? She's one of 6 females playing in the 32. Team Omega. So Team Omega looking really strong right now with Adar Algwedi, John Ebuen, and Matilda Ekholm. Next, I apologize for the pronunciation here, Coco Fanny is next up. And Coco Fanny is on Team Alpha. So they're with also Sharon Algwedi. Next up is Michelle Levinsky is going to be the what would be the 6th person picked here. And Michelle is on Team Alpha. So he will join Coco Fanny and Sharon Algwedi on Team Alpha. Next up is Jian Lee, guitar player out of Fresh Meadows, New Jersey, is on Team Alpha, and that will leave Team Omega for Lu Juan, the Olympian. So in Westchester, we have on Team Omega, Adar Algwedi, joined up by John Ebuin, Matilda Ekholm, and also Lu Juan. And on Team Alpha, it is Sharon Algwedi with Coco Fanny, Michelle Levinsky, and Jian Lee. And we've got a number of representatives from Westchester here. Let me start with Sharon. First of all, the critical question here, Sharon, you and Adar are on opposite teams. I know that doesn't make you happy, but I'm sure you'll be fine with the outcome regardless. You want to unmute? There you go, Sharon.
Yeah, I mean, it's not what we wanted, of course. But I gotta say our team is looking favorite right now, especially if I match up with Adar. So no comments further than this.
Trash talking has started. That's what we're looking for right there.
I mean, this is a team game. It's more interesting if I'm on the opposite side of his team. We're gonna have some arguments watching the matches, not just playing. Playing each other is gonna be interesting. I hope it doesn't happen for him, but we'll see.
Well, Adar, I've got to give you equal time. It's an election year, so if I give Sharon time, I got to give you some time as well. Go at it there. Take your best shot.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to fire some shots back. I think last time we played Sharon, that's not what happened. So I think I'm the crowd favorite. Other than that, I think we've got a pretty good team. I think they're pretty even at the end of the day, which is happy for both sides. And I'm excited to see the matchups and how it turns out. So we'll see.
Hey, Mark, can I interrupt and ask?
Jimmy, you got the floor anytime you want it, buddy. Go ahead.
I'm most excited to watch Matilda Ekholm play. Algwedi, is she in shape? Is she practicing in New York?
I think Matilda's with us. So,
yeah, Matilda is with us, but as far as I know, she's practicing. She's coaching in ping pod as well. So I think she's in good shape. She was set to play in Westchester before COVID canceled that. But if she wants to speak for herself, she can.
She beat Hui Jing Wong at the U.S. Open, so she's fun to watch.
Matilda, thank you very much for joining us. You want to unmute? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm definitely in shape, and I'm gonna be in better shape.
Matilda, it sounds like that you are a highly motivated player, ready to make your T2 debut here an effective one.
Yeah, I actually took part in T2 first season in Malaysia, so it's gonna be nice to come back.
Awesome.
And yeah, I think I have a good team, so yeah, I look forward to that.
You're familiar then with the T2 rules. I should note that we are going to play T2 rules as well, which of course means that the 24-minute clock will run. When that runs, we'll go to fast 5. And there are some advantages to winning without getting to a fast 5 game. As we go through the season, we'll talk more about it. But I would be remiss if I didn't get Will Shorts in here. And first of all, Will, let me congratulate you on being elected as the new representative for the clubs on the USATT Board of Directors. Thank you very much for your service. And also thank you for participating here. You've got 8 great players there at Westchester. Looking forward to the matches there in New York.
Yeah, I want to congratulate USATT. Thank USATT for doing this and all the people at T2. It's a great idea. It's great for table tennis. And I look forward to the time when we can have lots of spectators come to these events. But in the meantime, everyone will see them online.
Well, we're all looking forward to that. And again, thank you for your service and appreciate you running another great event here at Westchester. And we look forward to that in the not too distant future. Okay, why don't we turn our attention now to the West Coast? Let's go out to ICC. We've got Rajul Sheth with us, who of course is the manager out there at ICC. We've got 8 players with us at ICC. We'll put 8 ping pong balls into the hamster cage. The hand is effectively doing that right now. We'll once again go by the alphabetical order for these players to determine what team they're going to be on. We're going to start with the 18-year-old out of San Francisco, the William Bai. Let's go figure out what team William's going to be on here. The hand says going to be Team Omega. for William Bai. Next up, the highest rated player in this T2 challenge for season 2, of course, the Olympian Nikhil Kumar, who is joining us. I think I saw Nikhil on on the list here. I hope he's with us. Nikhil Kumar is going to be on Team Omega as well. So William Bai, Team Omega, Nikhil Kumar, the Olympian 2768th highest rated player in the event, is going to be on Team Omega as well. Third up from ICC in Milpitas, California, is Dan Liu. Dan Liu is going to be on Team Alpha. So Dan, who played in the Olympic trials there in Santa Monica, California in late February, early March, 28-year-old out of San Jose, is on Team Alpha. Next up is Buliang Liu out of Fremont, California. The 27-year-old who played very well in the preliminaries there at ICC is going to be on Team Alpha as well. So Dan Liu and Buliang Liu are both on Team Alpha. We've got William Bai and Nikhil Kumar on Team Omega. Next up, one of our 6 females playing in the event, Angie Tan, 16-year-old out of Milpitas, 2410 rating, and Angie is going to play for Alpha, Team Alpha. So she will join with Dan Liu and Buliang Liu on Team Alpha. Next up is Ye Tian out of Milpitas, 22-year-old, who was only defeated by Nikhil Kumar at the ICC T2 Challenge preliminaries. And Ye Tian is going to play for Team Omega as well. So she'll be on Nikhil's team. We've got William Bai, Nikhil Kumar, and Ye Tian on the Team Omega. Next up is Dian Ren Wei, the 21-year-old out of Rosemead, California. 2542 rating, is on Team Alpha. And that will leave our 8th participant for ICC, Pu Zheng, Team Omega. So let me go recap those really quickly. ICC, Milpitas, California. There are 8 players, 4 matches to be played. William Bai, Nikhil Kumar, Ye Tian, and Pu Zheng are on Team Omega. And on Team Alpha, you've got Dan Liu, Buliang Liu, along with Angie Tan and Dian Ren Wei. Why don't we get a couple of people here from ICC up on the Nikhil, why don't we start with you? First of all, I want to thank you very much, Nikhil, for joining us. Congratulate you for being a part of what is now the 2021 Olympic team that will play in Tokyo. Had a great Olympic trials there in Santa Monica. Don't know what type of condition you're in right now, Nikhil, but thank you for being here. And what's your thoughts about playing in the T2 Season 2 Challenge?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty happy with the draw outcomes right now, and I'm just looking forward to the matches up ahead and preparing for those.
Excellent. Well, we very much look forward to watching you play as well. You've got on your team William Bai. I'm not sure how familiar you are with Ye Tian and Pu Zheng as well. Those are players who are joining you there on the team. Jules Chef, we got you there as well. You've heard the picks here for ICC. What's your take on what you saw out of the 4 matches that are going to be played there at ICC? We just need you to unmute yourself, Jules, if that's okay.
So looking at the teams, I think Nikhil is smiling a little bit, but I think lineup or match order is very important. Looking at both the teams right now, that will be very crucial. So whoever is the captain, he has to probably plan a real good lineup. I think looks on a paper, Team Omega looks very strong. So now probably lineup can turn the table.
Exactly. We don't play these things on paper. That's why we still have to play the matches, and you never know how they're going to come out. And of course, we thank you, Rajul, very much for being a part of T2 Challenge Season 2. You're part of Season 1 as well. I thought everything went really well up at ICC. We're looking forward to what will be some exciting matches there at ICC. We've got 4 there. Let's stay in California here, folks, and go over to California Table Tennis based in Rosemead. There are 4 players who have qualified for the regionals there, and we will turn our attention to those right now. That is Gao Jun's club in Rosemead, California table tennis. Let's start with Ted Lee. Ted Lee out of San Diego, California. He is our youngest. We talked about Jimmy Butler, and not to beat a dead horse, Jimmy Butler being the oldest participant here at T2 Challenge Season 2. The youngest is going to be Ted Lee. He's 15 years of age. Actually, two 15-year-olds. This is Jaden Ju, playing in Lil Yip, is also 15, but I believe that Ted is a little bit younger than Jaden, and Ted Lee is going to play for Team Omega. So Ted Lee, 2539 USATT rating, plays out of the Learning Tree in San Diego, is going to be on Team Omega. Second up at the California Table Tennis Center there in Rosemead, we've got Udaya Ranasinghe out of El Monte, California, 22-year-old, rated at 2562 at USATT. And Udaya is on Team Alpha. So we've got Team Alpha with Udaya Ranasinghe, Ted Lee on Team Omega. Next up, the always good, one of the participants who played in T2 Challenge Season 1, that is Kai Zhang. Kai Zhang, 23-year-old, who's now based in Los Angeles, played at Westchester in the first season, going to play in LA here, and he's on Team Alpha along with Udaya Ranasinghe. So that leaves Jianjing Zhang, out of Temple City, California, for Team Omega. The two matches are set at the California Table Tennis Center on team, I should say at least the teams are set. Team Omega, you've got Ted Lee and Jianjing Zhang, and on Team Alpha, Udaya Ranasinghe and Kai Zhang. Don't know if we've got any representatives here from Gao Jun's club there in Rosemead. Help me out here, Sean. Do you see a name?
I think that's it, but we do have Gao, I think, on the phone.
Awesome.
If she can unmute and share her thoughts on the two teams that we've chosen out of the hopper.
Gao, it's good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Hi guys. How are you guys?
Doing super.
This is a very good opportunity, for all the players, I think, at this, special moment to make this great event happen. And then it's also my honor, to our club can host this great event. And for the draw, I think it's a pretty, balanced. They all have, same opportunity to play each other. And then it all depends on the draw. And also, like Raju said, it depends on the table. Yes.
That's where we like to resolve it. Well, Gao, thank you very much for coming on tonight. And we wish everybody, obviously, throughout the United States, the entire world, continued safety and health, particularly there in Los Angeles. We know in California, things are not as good as you'd like them to be right now. And hopefully we can turn the corner by the time that T2 Season 2, the challenge here, starts up, get everybody in a safe condition and continue with these matches. And thank you very much again. Gao, your club did a great job in Season 1 for T2. We look forward to being there again in a safe and healthy Los Angeles for Season 2.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So there we go. Now we've got the Houston International Table Tennis Academy, the matchups, the team set there. ICC, we're Westchester. We've got Westchester set up, ICC, California. Now we'll send our attention to the clubs that are just have one match. And we'll start in beautiful Ohio at Columbus, Ohio. Spin and Smash has two players there, Chance Friend and Seth Peck. I see Seth is with us. I don't know if Chance is with us or not. We're going to put two balls into the hopper here and pick in a moment. We'll pick for Chance first here. Chance, who's out of Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota, 29-year-old, 2499 USATT rating. And Chance Friend is going to be on Team Alpha. So that would leave Team Omega for Seth Peck. Seth, who's out of Strongsville, Ohio, played in the Olympic trials there in Santa Monica in late February of last year, 25-year-old. I saw Seth's name on the board here. And Seth, if you are there, there you are, man. It's good to see you. Unmute yourself. What do you think about the matchup between you and Chance Friend? It's going to be played at Spin and Smash in Columbus.
Hey everyone. Pretty happy about it. Glad to be part of this. I think it's really cool. And I'll just do my best to train hard and see if I can win that match for my team.
Well, I know that the cheering has already started here, so appreciate Seth being a part of it, and hope everybody's safe and well there in Ohio. Thank you for being a part of T2 Challenge Season 2. Now let's go to the beautiful Research Triangle in North Carolina. We've got Mike Babuin, who is the manager there at Triangle Badminton and Table Tennis. Got a good matchup set up here. Let's see which team is going to have which player. It's Jishan Liang and DU. We'll start with Jishan Liang. We'll have the hand pick for Jishan. See what team he's going to be on. And Jishan is going to be on Team Alpha. That'll leave Team Omega for DU. And Mike, you know these players well. Maybe you can give us an idea of what you think for the matchup that you have there at Triangle Badminton and Table Tennis in beautiful Morrisville, North Carolina.
Well, that's going to be a great match. I mean, both of these athletes are very, very good, very skilled. Jishan is exceptionally skilled, and I think he's going to be difficult for anybody to go through, whether they're on our team or anyone else's. So all we can do is just wait and see. I think so far in this draw, these teams are very interesting and it's going to be a challenging set of matches.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. And Jishan is 29-year-old out of Cary, North Carolina. There are 20. He's one of the 6 players rated at 2,600 or over that are in this event. He's 2636. The rating for DU 2466. And they did match up in the preliminaries there at T2. I think Jishan got the better of that match. But as was already been recognized by Rajul and Gaojun, we do play these matches on the table, so it's still got to go there at Triangle. We've got one more match to set up here for T2 Challenge Season 2, and that is in beautiful Dunellen, New Jersey at the Lily Yip Table Tennis Academy. 2 players there are Masao Kahatsu and Jaden Zhu. Jaden, of course, is one of the younger players here. I noted he's 15 years of age. 24-year-old Masao Kahatsu. Let's start there, and we'll pick the ball for Masao Kahatsu is on Team Alpha. So Jaden Zhu will be on Team Omega. I don't know if we have Masao and or Jaden here or a representative for Lily Yip. Anybody want to speak up there? Or maybe, Sean, you can address that matchup that we've got there at Lily Yip Table Tennis Academy in Dunellen.
Yeah, I don't see any of the players, but Jaden is one of my favorites, member of the national team, had some great results in junior ITTF tour events in South America. Exciting player, loves to get his big forehand into play. So I think that'll be an excellent match as we head to Lily Yip Table Tennis Center.
All right. Let's take a moment here and just kind of recap the circumstances of what we've done tonight, and then we'll talk about where we're headed from here. First of all, this is what we call the T2 Challenge Season 2 draft. We have now determined 16 players that are on Team Alpha, 16 players that are on Team Omega. There are 7 regions. You'll play within your region. You don't know who is going to play against whom at this point in the match. That's going to be determined by a captain's pick. The next stage of T2 Challenge for Season 2 is that the 16 players on Team Alpha, the 16 players on Team Omega are going to get together separately and determine who their team captain is. That team captain is going to determine the order of play. We've already noted it's kind of a blind choice. You really don't know who your player is going to play against in a particular region. It sets up for an interesting strategic decision, Sean, as to how you order your players. Do you just pick my best players 1, 2, 3, or do you mix and match a little bit? What would be the strategy of Sean O'Neill placed in such a position?
Well, I think what the players who are smart will do is they'll start reaching outside of their region and giving tips to their teammates so that they can get a little bit of an advantage, so that maybe Adar or Sharon will reach out to Nikhil or one of the other players and say, if you're playing this player, be aware of these tendencies, be aware of these tactics. So I see the teams really coming together. Of course, the team captain, we're going to ask them to do a little bit more. We're going to ask them to come on sometimes when we're doing commentary or post-match commentary, or give us some previews, because really those 16 players that qualify for the finals, it's almost like Survivor. You're fighting with each other, and then you're going to be fighting against each other in the finals for the big money. So I think we want to go outside the region, going into these matches, asking and adding some tips. Then afterwards, it's anyone's game, because you're then fighting against each other.
I do want to give an opportunity to anybody who hasn't spoken yet to speak as well, but I know Adar Algwedi is already, so he's at the ready and wants to jump in here. Adar, you can unmute yourself at any moment and go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say in response to what Sean just said, definitely not gonna need to give tips to Nikhil. He's absolute fantastic superpower, and I think he's gonna get the better of whoever comes up against him. We're counting on you, Nikhil. But
no pressure there, Nikhil.
But Sharon's on a different team than me, so normally I help him out. But on days like this, maybe I'll sneak in a little, try to get him a little bit confused.
I want to say that Adar being a different team in this is dangerous for me. It's gonna expose me to all of the US.
You two might have to be separated there in the household there. You might have to go to different sides of the house until this event is over, maybe even after. So it's always interesting when the Algwedi brothers are on opposite sides of a table tennis table. So we look forward to seeing that going forward. Anybody else got some comments before I turn? I do want to say one more thing. The teams are important. This is kind of it's kind of an odd event in the sense of we've gone from kind of individual performance, qualifying on the regional basis for these 32 players, each of whom has had to battle their way to become a regional qualifier. Now you've identified what team each of those 32 players are on. You're either on Team Alpha, Team Omega. Now your teammates, at least for the first, for these 16 matches they're going to be played, your teammates. It'll switch back to an individual format after that. We'll talk about it during the season as we go through, but essentially what's going to happen, we're all going to meet up, we hope, in early May. There are going to be 16 people on one of these teams who are going to qualify for the finals. We're going to add in 4 more persons for wild cards, give us a field of 20, play a round robin, 5 groups of 4 in a round robin, and develop from there, have a single elimination tournament and ultimately determine a T2 Challenge Season 2 winner. There's prize money involved. We'll talk more about that going forward, but the teams are important. So you do want to root for your teammates going forward at this stage of the event. Yeah. Sean O'Neill, I want to make sure that I get some final comments from you, obviously as the high performance director at USA Table Tennis. You see the 2 teams out there. You see what these strategies are. What can we expect? T2 Challenge Season 2, what's kind of on the horizon here from your perspective with the quality of players that we've got in this event?
Well, I'm absolutely thrilled to have the best players in the country. The fact that we opened it up for players outside the national team makes it even more competitive. I think the players' next step is to choose their team captain wisely, as that person will be responsible for setting the order. I'm thrilled to be working with you, Mark, alongside during the matches, and also with Chad as we make sure that all the players get top billing through our social media channels, as well as the great team in Singapore with T2. It's just been an absolute thrill to work with everyone down there and to give our players a chance to be in a safe environment with one match and not a huge tournament as of yet. When we get to the finals, there will be more. But for these regional matches, we should be able to keep things as safe as possible. And we really thank the tournament, or I should say the club hosts, from Triangle to Westchester to ICC, Houston, Los Angeles, Columbus, Lily Yip's club as well. It's just really great to see the clubs step up and give their players a chance to play some extra matches without having to travel so far.
All right. Thank you, Sean. All right. We know what team the players are on now. Next up, we're going to determine the order of play in each of the 7 regions. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. For Virginia Sung, Chief Executive Officer of USATT, Sean O'Neill, the High Performance Director, Chad Nazinski, who is our Head of Marketing, Kara and Mara in Singapore with T2. Thank you very much for everything that T2 has done with USA Table Tennis. Great. I want to thank everybody at the clubs, as Sean has already done. All of the players, wish you the best. First of all, let's just stay safe and healthy for the next couple of months. Let's get on the other side of this pandemic and get back to playing healthy table tennis. Thank you very much, everybody. This has been the team draft for T2 Challenge Season 2. Have a great night, everybody. I'm Mark Thompson.
Bye-bye.